When it comes to the Hashira and Demon Slayer, they're easily some of the most skilled and powerful characters that exist in the Demon Slayer world, but not all of them are equal. For every powerful warrior that you have like Rengoku, who you also have an extremely skilled Hashira like Shinobu, who relies on other methods to be considered to be deadly. In today's video, I want to look at Tengen Uzui's power and attempt to put some respect on the name of a lot of people's favorite Hashira after season 2 of Demon Slayer is concluded. If we take the information in the manga at face value in terms of raw strength via arm wrestling contests, Tengen's strength is second only to Gyome, which is pretty impressive given how strong Gyome is, but Tengen's true strength isn't in his physical strength, but it's also in his skill as well as his abilities that he uses in combat that makes him so deadly. His sound-breathing fighting style is pretty impressive, especially when you consider his background growing up in a ninja family and the cleavers that he keeps on his back instead of a traditional sword like the other Hashira. For starters, his speed is the fastest out of the current generation of Hashira, to the point where he can move so fast it literally looks like he's teleporting, which more than makes up for him being the physically second strongest Hashira, at least again if we go by the arm wrestling results. In raw skill, he was shown to be more than holding his own against two upper ranked demons who had previously killed other Hashira in the past. His own raw skill and power was enough that for a moment, he wasn't even sure that he was actually fighting an upper ranked demon when he fought Daki initially. We see him fighting both demons despite being poisoned and long outlasting the effects of the poison that should have killed him a long time ago, especially with all that moving around. Even more impressively, he was able to protect other people as he did so. The years of training as a shinobi put him a cut above the rest when it comes to all the Hashira, when it comes to senses, especially when it comes to stuff like hearing, which is a major asset in training, which makes sense given that ninja are taught to make use of each of their senses in a way that's beneficial to them in battle, because a ninja never truly knows when they're going to be blinded and have to rely on their sense of smell or hearing in order to find their enemy because their other senses are impacted. His tactical skills are also very impressive. The ninja training continues to pay itself off in that he continued fighting like a total Chad even after he loses his arm in battle, and that is even further evidence that you have ninja training that he got as a child that helped prepare him for this very moment, because you never know in combat when you're going to have to fight with an unfair handicap. What's even more impressive is that while he was fighting with only one arm, the man was doing so while having poison running through his veins. His sense of hearing is only rivaled by Zenitsu, and his sense of sound is so great that he can hear noises from underground, and he's skilled enough with his hearing that he can use it to monitor whatever's going on in the city that he's in, like he did in the Red Light District in the Demon Slayer manga. Now, his echolocation ability allows him to analyze the sounds and reflections that move through the air in order to locate an enemy and to figure out how many enemies that it is he's got to fight. His musical score allows him to use his hearing alongside his sound breathing in order to break down the rhythm of his enemies' attacks, and he gains understanding of his enemies' movements in order to find a blind spot, reading their movement as easily as a musician reads a sheet of music. The only drawback is that this does require Tengen time to get the musical score complete, but as you can tell, once it is complete, it definitely comes in handy, especially when you have a long-running fight. His stamina is also very impressive, and it's another benefit of his training as a shinobi as a child. His pain tolerance is absolutely through the roof, which is why he was able to continue his onslaught of attacks despite being impaled by several kunai that were shot at his body, despite losing an eye and losing an arm. Tengen had more than enough pain tolerance to continue fighting against an upper ranked demon, which is a side note. Somebody tell Sasuke he needs to watch Tengen's battle, because my man Sasuke lost his arm and his eye, and my man ain't been the same ever since. Now, his ninja training again comes into play when we see him using his muscles to stop his heart in order to keep the poison from spreading through his body. The training that he underwent as a child was so brutal that 3 of his siblings died before they reached 10 years old, but the end result of his training is that he became skilled with weapons and explosives. It made him a highly resistant person to poisons that would kill most humans, and his pain tolerance was absolutely unmatched. The ability to move quickly and quietly helps him in battle when combined with his quick wits, like when he stopped his heart in order to stop the spread of the poison, also to lure the demon he was fighting into a false sense of security. Because that demon thought he was dead, it makes him extremely deadly. Add that with his ability to swing his sword so fast that in some cases his enemy doesn't realize they've been cut. He's a silent killer in every meaning of that phrase, because you never see him coming before it's too late. The fact that he uses a dual blade fighting style also makes him stand out in comparison to the other Hashira, and it's a testament to his shinobi training is that while he's fighting against a powerful upper rank demon, he's able to adjust in mid-battle and formulate a strategy. As he was fighting in combination with his instincts and his skill, he was able to close the gap against an opponent who had over 100 years of fighting experience on him. With his sound breathing, we have his first form, Roar, which allows him to lift his swords above his head, slam them down. He creates an explosion with bombs that dole out major damage to his enemy, all while making the explosion so loud it's comparable to a thunderclap. Now, his fourth form, the constant resounding slashes, has him spinning his blades in conjunction with releasing his bombs, which makes massive explosions, all while defending himself from the attacks. Now, the fifth form, String Performance, sees him change the grip of one of his swords to a reverse grip, spin the other sword with the chain that is connected to, all while also releasing bombs to explode in the battle. Tengen is not a joke. The fact that even an upper ranked demon that he was fighting against took the time out to compliment him by saying that he wasn't like any other of the Hashira that he fought before is telling, especially when the demons that Tengen's fighting against consisted of one of them having already eaten 15 Hashira in the past. That being said, the fact that he was able to survive a battle against one of the upper ranked demons says a lot given everything that it took for him to get to this point. He lost an arm, he lost an eye, he was poisoned, he withstood a giant barrage of blood blades. It becomes clear to see why Tengen went from previously only talking about retiring to actually retiring following this battle, which is a side note. Going into the retirement with 3 total baddies like that is a huge plus. The man's clearly winning at life. Now, I know there will be some who point out that he was only fighting upper rank demon 6, and we've seen other Hashira take on stronger moons with less help. I think the circumstances under which he was fighting kind of evens out the situation in my opinion, but that's also why I said at the start of the video that strength isn't just about raw physical strength, which if you take that into account based off of the arm wrestling, he would actually be second. Muichiro took down an upper ranked demon 5 without that level of help that Tengen did, but the fact that the same demon had fought and killed a lot of Hashira in the past says a lot about the fact that Tengen was fighting somebody this strong. Tengen himself also acknowledges that there's more to power than just raw physical strength, because he tells the demon that he's fighting that if Tengen was to be considered special, then he's pretty much in for a world of hurt if he encountered any other Hashira, which kind of makes sense given that Tengen said even Rengoku lost when Rengoku died. So that does make sense given that he was likely considering Rengoku to be stronger than him, and Rengoku was also fighting a stronger upper rank demon, and that's before the Demon Slayers got the marks that pretty much amp up all of their stats. Now, that's going to be it for this Demon Slayer video. What impressed you the most about Tengen, and why you think that over? Consider watching the other videos you're seeing on the screen right now.